All right, hello, welcome everybody. I'd like to start the meeting of September 19th of the Town Council. Can everybody please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag, United States of America, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stacy, roll call?
Mr. Johnson? Ms. Towers? Here. Ms. Healy? Here. Mr. Hall?
Here.
From Kern?
Here.
Both sides.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, as we move on to the agenda, before we approve it, I need to make one edit. At the end, under the closed session, we need to remove Article 3-305B8. We no longer need to go into closed session for that article. With that said, can I have a motion to approve the agenda? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Next, move on to the minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of the Town Council meeting from August 8th, 2024? All in favor? Aye.
Used to you doing that.
Well, I know, right? All right, moving on to the August 19th, 2024 special Town Council meeting. A note on that meeting we opened and went into closed session let me pull it up and make sure I read it properly. Under the Maryland Code, General Provisions, Article 3-305B7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice, and then Article 3-305B8 to consult with staff, consultants, and other individuals about potential litigation regarding the resolution of an issue with the vendor or the town of North Beach regarding monies owed the vendor and associated contract. So a motion to approve that.
So approved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right.
I abstained from that when I was not at that meeting.
And what's next? One moment. All right, then we go down to special employee recognitions. Phil, you're on deck. Do 1 minute? Okay. So let's jump to the town administrator, so we can wait on one more of the employees to get here. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for allowing me to go first here. I just wanted to provide a quick update between August and September, and we've had a really fantastic month again. We have been working the last month to really formalize our processes and procedures, and based on some feedback from both staff and some of the council members, we're going to be talking in a minute just about some other changes we're going to be making. One of those is we're going to be providing a monthly capital budget update to you by email. And if you would like that presented to the council monthly, we can do that. I will try to get that to you a week prior. With that said, I'd like to introduce Veronica Atkinson. She's here to help us with our capital projects and getting us built out for 6 years. Veronica comes to us with a lot of experience in capital projects. She'll be with us for a couple of months getting that straightened away. We also have brought somebody on board to help us with the procurement policies and updating and revamping those policies, and that's Amanda Odell. She actually helped us with one of the agenda items tonight. Amanda will also be with here for a couple of months, and she's doing an analysis of how we're buying, how we're spending, doing a lot of different things, and I think you'll see some improvements there. We're also talking about moving the budget build up sooner. So we're going to begin the staff process in October versus late winter, early spring. So I'll bring that schedule to you to review after I've spoken with the mayor about it. But I think that will help us get better ahead of things, and will help us also with the CIP. And then that capital projects report that I mentioned earlier, we're going to try and make it as simple as possible. We'll do it by year, by tab, with a summary analysis for each one, and a budget, total budget, and then how the spending is going. We had a council person ask about peer security after hours, and we're working with the waterfront staff led by Phil to talk about how we're going to address those security concerns, and we're putting together a peer security plan now. Spoken with the mayor about it, and we'll bring back a plan to you for review and consideration. It's going to have a budget attached to it. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to deal with that. And then finally, we met with Councilman Hummel earlier this week to talk about the new parking analysis we had done by COA. We hope to bring that back to a work session here in the next month and then come up with a short-term and a long-term plan on how we're going to address that. And with that, that is the end of my report, and I'm happy to answer questions you might have.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have one. So on the capital projects, budget form that you all are working on to make it simpler and easier to follow, will it have kind of like the allocated amount and then the obligated amount?
Yes, it will have the total budget, what's been completely allocated, how much has been spent, and how
Okay.
much is left. And at the end of the year, if we haven't expended those resources, it'll stay within the budget. But if we finished up the project, we'll bring that back to you so we can move those funds to another project and close that project out so
Okay.
that those funds aren't just sitting there being underused.
That sounds great. Thanks.
Yeah, you got it. Okay, that's it for me.
All right, thank you, Linda.
Billy, ready? Okay.
All right, come on up.
Do you have them? Do you have them? You want to, just. Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but on Sunday, August 17th, Hurricane Ernesto caused dangerous surf and rip currents along the waterfront. 2 boys swimming outside of the nets were slammed against the rocks, thus becoming trapped, unable to make it back to shore. Without hesitation or concern for his own well-being, team lead Jesse Sager swam out to the boys to assist them back to shore. To help Jesse, town attendant Eden Cross waded out to help the first boy to shore while Jesse swam back out to help the second. Both boys had minor scratches and bruises, but were otherwise fine. And I'd honestly like to take this opportunity to formally thank both Jess and Eden. Their actions were nothing less than heroic. So thank you both very much. We're gonna have to take big pictures. Actually, we'll take a picture. Just take that sit up there. Yeah.
You guys can.
Come up there, yeah.
I'm here for the time a little bit. Philip. Yeah. I'm here for
Don't am I in your way?
Not yet, but I'm sure you will be. Poor Marty. Okay. So can you, I'm gonna start a call. Okay.
I'll get a copy of.
Thank you both for all your hard work down there. Next, we'll move to the public safety report. Lieutenant Hollinger.
Good evening, everyone. I really don't have much to report. August was pretty quiet for the summer, so we only had to make a few arrests, so all's good. Any questions or? That's
Thanks
easy.
for the continual patrolling, and I see the one car floating around, and it's actually got me to slow down a couple times. So.
It's right outside the front door, right now.
Thank you. I've quite seen anything crazy on the stretch. You know,
Right.
it's been really improved,
Yes.
but, it seems like it's pretty slow from Mexico to Anne Arundel County line lately. I mean,
Right. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Good to go. Yeah, we'll stay on it.
Well, not exactly.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'm out there between 8:40 and 9 o'clock, waiting for the bus to come by. I've had to yell at drivers coming by there because they're flying out of town.
Got it.
They know your vehicle is just static. So maybe you could have someone stop by there.
I'll be out there tomorrow morning.
Well, deputy,
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks.
I didn't see it pulled over. They were like, I thought it was the dummy car.
That's the games we play. Like,
So when's the last time y'all were hanging out there and, you know, monitoring?
I mean, they know that's one of the beach, all the beach patrol deputies know it's one of the focused areas, so they should be there from time to time, but maybe they need a reminder.
Well, I
So
know
take
somebody
care of
there
that.
last week because it was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
like, how fast am I going? Oh, no, I'm okay.
Yeah, we'll focus on that though.
I
Okay.
don't think so much about the morning, but that is when that bus, for Windy Hill and, both Windy.
Got it.
Hills are-
We'll hit it tomorrow morning. There you go. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep. That's it. We good?
Yep, thank you very much.
All right. Guys.
Next up, marketing and public relations, Dawn?
Good evening. I'll highlight some of the key marketing and outreach initiatives for the last month. One thing that was very fun was our City Hall Selfie Day. I didn't count the people, but we had a lot of people that stopped by Town Hall that day and stood out front and took their selfie. And we had North Beach props out there, and they just were glad to stop by and chit chat. And Councilwoman Mary Healy was, I think, the first one out there that morning. She was waiting for me when I got here. So that was fun. Lots of communications during the tropical storm Debbie. We had some flooding in town, and we videoed, and we did kind of walk through the water a little bit to get the good photos. I know you guys on the waterfront had a lot of photos of that, but we kept the residents informed of that storm. We've been promoting a lot of our events. We have a lot coming up here. We have the World Migratory Bird Day this weekend with Movie on the Beach. We have our farmers market. What else is this weekend? North Beach American Film Festival is also this weekend, so everyone stop by for those. What else did we do? National Preparedness Month is September, so go to the website for information on that. And that's all I have, unless anyone has any questions. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Next up, Rick?
Good evening. The only really new thing we have going on is the software that you all have approved. We are finally moving forward with implementing. So sometime over the next 3 or 4 months, you'll see the report will change. We'll be able to better reflect permits, licensing, code enforcement. And we're going to have be an online payment system. So kind of doing away with all of the paper if we can. And a new GIS mapping system for the town. Questions?
Questions?
When you do your inspection for code enforcement and you issue a citation,
How long does it take to close that? Do you put like an end time on it, like a?
So it depends on what it is. If it's a dangerous tree, sometimes that can be as much as 24 hours before we take action. If it's tall grass, it's usually 7 to 10 days.
there's
Depending on
no-
what the violation is, it varies.
All right.
And there are certain things in the code that have specific timeframes.
I
Um,
get that, but
Yeah, some don't, some are just arbitrary. We try to work with the citizen to try and get it done without having to take it farther, but. All right, thanks.
Donnie? Public Works?
Good evening, everybody. Item number 1 on my report is underwater and sewer, and I'd just like to give everybody a quick update on that item. We've been working with Chesapeake Beach and Calvert County and our partners at the sewage plant next door. And I don't know if any of y'all noticed the heavy equipment out there that's working in Greenwood Avenue, but what that is Calvert County has 6 locations where their flow enters North Beach and comes through the town and then goes to Chesapeake Beach wastewater plant. What the county is doing, they're installing new manholes to put more efficient flow meters at those locations. So that'll help separate our flow from the county's flow. And then for billing purposes, infiltration purposes, and anything related to that, these new flow meters are supposed to be more accurate. Currently, they do have 6 meters in there, but they're battery powered and they were found not to, the battery wouldn't hold up. It couldn't sample enough. So the flows were all over the place. So what they're doing, they're putting these in. BG&E is going to run power. So these are going to be powered 24/7 so they can sample every 5 seconds, every 1 second, whatever it needs to be. And hopefully with that, we'll identify where, when we get rainfalls, we do get, heavy flows in, but right now we can't separate it where it's coming from Calvert County or from us. Hopefully when these are installed, complete and done with this project, we'll be able to more, better identify the flows, where they're coming from, pinpoint, and then do some repairs. I can tell you while they're putting in the flow meters, we have noticed very high flows coming in from Calvert County side. So we'll just have to wait and see if the numbers line up with that. They had to plug the line to be able to install the manhole, plug the sewer and pump around while they cut the pipe and actually stuck the manhole right in line. And it took less than a half hour for a location at 2nd Street to fill up with only like 10 or 15 homes. So that tells me we found leaf sticks and debris coming in that sewer line. So that's not a good sign. So these flow meters, I think, will be nothing. Calvert's putting them in, they're paying for everything, but I think there'll be a big plus for North Beach so we can identify, finally where the infiltration is coming in if we have any. So.
With that debris, do you expect them to clog up the flow meters?
A gravity flow meter is one of the hardest things to keep clean.
Okay.
It's up to Calvert County. It's going to be a thing. It's not us that's going to maintain them. It's Calvert County. So if they don't keep them clean, they're not going to be as accurate. Hopefully this is a partial flume type flow meter, which is the size of the pipe. It's the whole size and just has a V notch in there, and the flow goes over that V notch. And they have a beam shooting down, and depends on the height it is in that V notch. That's what gives you your flow. And they know it's 8-inch diameter pipe, 10-inch diameter pipe, so it all calculates out. So hopefully, if they maintain them, it should be better because it can sample more often, but they do have to be maintained to be accurate.
Okay.
So
Or do they?
we'll be able to look at, hopefully it'll be like a web-based. Right now we have a Claros Hawk system where we can go on Calvert County's web-based site and look at the flows. They gave us access so we can look at, and I'm pretty sure they'll do the same thing. We're actually working on an easement agreement with them since they did install the manholes in the town right away. And that'll be part of our, one thing probably in our easement agreement. But so far they've been working with us. They've been good about that kind of stuff. So we have access, we can look on the site now, we can see all the existing meters and get all the data. So, yeah,
How we get to know, like, next time.
very good. Right. And we have a history, we have a pretty good history. With all the upgrades we did with our water meters, with our flow meters and everything else, so we can account for most of our flow. And, we know when we have flooding down on the waterfront, we pick up a little bit of flow, but a lot of places up there, we see clear water coming in. It looks like to me sump pumps. So this hopefully will identify, where we have, when it rains, sump pumps kicking on and you can see the peak flows go up or what we have going on. So definitely be a big plus for us to help identify infiltration. They have 3 of the 6 meters in. I'm hoping within a month they should be wrapping up. It's going to depend on BG&E. The meters themselves and the manholes might be installed by next week. Everything will be done. But then they got to have, BG&E has to come out, run power and put a actual meter in a panel in 4 locations so they can run power to these meters. So that'll probably be the time consuming part of it. So. Any more questions on anything else on the report? All right, thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Yep.
Joanne, business report?
And you have your treasurer's report for the month of June 24, period from June 1st to June 30th. The most significant thing on my treasurer's report is the Calvert County tax payment for October and November came in for 245,000, and there happened to be $9,288 in hotel tax revenue with that payment.
Any questions? Thank you, Joanne.
You're welcome.
Next up, Phil, waterfront report.
I have nothing really to add to the report, so I mean, I'll just take your questions if there are any. Don touched about the events for this weekend, so, yeah, questions?
I happened to be walking down one night and I was looking at the jellyfish net. Are we looking at that for replacement this coming budget cycle?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. It's down. We've got it down. It's back over to Overlook. But yeah, we're gonna have to the support cable snapped on it.
Mhm.
So we're gonna have to replace the entire cable. And to prevent this from happening again, we're going to replace all the hooks that are out there now because they're open hooks and the
Yeah,
nets are getting
better than-
caught in
yeah.
it. And so yeah, so it's what all of it.
Okay.
I have a follow-up to that.
Mhm.
So, we know that net doesn't work very well,
Mhm.
in, like wind and wave action. Are there any other options out there?
For jellyfish deterrents, basically, you know, the net is pretty much it.
I mean, any other nets that are maybe have a better design that,
We could look, you know, something, anything, if you get much smaller in the holes that you put in it, you know, it's not, you're not getting flow and they're just gonna end up tearing off anyway.
I guess I mean that it kind of, fills up with like sediment and silt.
It does at the bottom. It actually buries itself at the bottom. So the bottom does. But the net itself stays fairly open. But yeah, I'll look to see if there's anything else.
How old is that net? You know,
I have no idea.
It's been a little bit since we ordered in there. Let's say at least 6 years.
maybe there's something else out there that's better.
Yeah.
Maybe Sandy Point has some, they get a lot of wave action.
Okay, I can look.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no, it's perfect.
Thanks. For
Sure.
Thanks, Phil.
You're welcome.
Now we move into the public comment section. If you have any public comment, please come up, state your name, address, and if you can, limit your comments to 3 minutes, please.
Grace Mary Brady with the Bayside History Museum, and I'm just here with an invitation. On Sunday, October the 6th, we're going to celebrate our 20th anniversary of the opening of the Bayside History Museum. It will be from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. The gentleman who went to Camp Chesapeake will be there. And then we have 10 Scoutmasters left from Camp Roosevelt who come in once a year for a reunion. So it's really quite special that this group is getting together and being on hand up in the Boy Scout exhibit to talk to all the kids that come. So 1 to 3 is the program time. We have a band, we have hot dogs, cake, everything. We haven't put the request in yet, but we're just going to close the portion in front of the Museum of the Road so people can safely sit out in tables and listen to the music and enjoy their hot dog and cake and stuff. But anyway, I just want to make sure you come because I can't get over it's been 20 years sometimes. It's pretty amazing. So what you have in front of you is a preliminary program because I'm waiting to hear back from 2 elected officials about the proclamations. So then I'll flush this out with names and make sure it comes to Stacy and everyone for you to look at. So that's all. Any questions? All right. Thank you.
Next, we'll move into our business end of the agenda. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't see it.
Sorry, I just wanted to wait till she passed. Hi, my name's John Ricudo. I'm Vice President of the HOA at San Francisco by the Bay. And I'm actually coming to apologize because we changed our management. And I didn't know it was a thing to let Town Hall know that you're changing your management. So I'm here to let you know that. So we moved on from Blackstone and and we are now with the HOA managers, and Thomas Keats is the managing member. And I have his information here. His address is 3375 Ellicott City Center Drive in Ellicott City, Maryland, 21043. And his email is tom@thehoamanagers.com. And so if there's any questions.
You guys want to start getting back in here to meet, or you guys?
Yes, that would
Okay.
be awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll get with, you and I can touch base after this and figure out find out what day it is, and then check with Stacy about availability here.
Okay.
So that we can get back to that old rotation.
I appreciate that.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And yeah, I've reached out to them already, so I've been in contact with with the management company to coordinate permits and those.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Joe.
Yep.
So I don't miss anybody else. Sorry about that. Any other public comment? Anything online? All right. Then we can move on to the number A, Resolution 24-04, Calvert County Hazardous Mitigation Plan Adoption.
That is me. Linda Vassallo again. So we have an agenda item here for the hazardous mitigation plan resolution adoption. The state of Maryland requires a local hazardous mitigation plan to be prepared for, various types of hazards and in order to be reimbursed. We do not have a plan, so we are piggybacking on the county plan, which the state allows, and we're asking you tonight to endorse the Calvert County, Maryland Board of County Commissioners 2023 Calvert County Hazardous Mitigation Plan by adopting the resolution. And then once that's signed, we'll get it registered with the county and we'll be in compliance with the state.
Any questions on council?
I have a question. I think we've been talking about this for a while, but have we never had a hazardous mitigation plan? Yeah. Oh, we've all, so is this, we're
Piggybacks
just
on the
doing that
county.
for this year with the,
They adopted a new plan
Oh, okay.
23, which requires us to readopt
okay,
locally.
all right, all right, good.
Yeah, whenever they do a massive change, we have
Yeah.
to come and go, yeah, we agree with the massive
No,
changes. let's
Sorry,
go."
I just misunderstood.
We don't have a town one. It's actually better to.
Yeah,
this
no,
way
I agree with
because
that.
The plans about that thing, I printed it out by mistake this afternoon.
No, no,
so-
no, that sounds good. Thanks.
Okay.
I just
Alright.
misunderstood.
Any other questions? All right, motion to approve the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Is that a question? I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, can't forget about Cat.
All right.
Next up is the agreement with Twin Beach Library.
Yes, sir. So Calvert County and the town of North Beach had decided they were going to enter into an MOA once the library was built and had certain agreements that they decided ahead of time. I can read through what those agreements are if you'd like. So the town is responsible for maintaining parking areas, sidewalks, parking area lighting, not connected to the structures, sworn or manager structures, devices and areas and grounds, including without limitations, landscaping, mowing, trimming beyond 10 feet of the building. And beyond the Class A office space, we are to provide adequate potable water and sewer service with no charge to the county or the library. We're providing 14 additional parking spaces for the use of the patrons of the library, either an adjacent lot owned by the town or along Fifth Street, and to make sure that all repairs and maintenance required to be performed by its employees, agents, contractors, and some contractors pursuant to the MOA are done professionally, timely, and reasonable. And the county's responsibilities are to provide landscaping, mowing, and trimming within 10 feet of the building or up to the sidewalk in Class A space, provide trash and recycling services, snow and ice removal, liability and property damage insurance for the property, and maintenance and upkeep of the building. So we are here this evening asking that the town council approve the attached MOA, which has also been approved for legal sufficiency on our end and on the county's end, sign it and return it back to the Board of County Commissioners for signature.
Linda. Board, will it ensure all repairs and maintenance?
Yes, sir.
Are we saying that the town is gonna be maintaining the building?
Yes, sir. All repairs and maintenance required performed by the employees, agents, and contractors are being done by the town when requested.
I'm
Was this,
Sorry, Greg.
Let me get into the.
Was this a part of what we discussed? I shouldn't say we because this was done on the previous council, but was this a part of the plan when this building was, that property was granted?
If I could, if it was my understanding in researching this, of course, we weren't here, probably some of you all weren't here, that this was discussed prior to the construction of the facility as part of a means to entice the library to locate in North Beach.
Well, I would like to table this until next month so we can do a little more research. That could be
Okay.
quite costly to the town.
I also, just so I can, for the record, I have a concern, with, first of all, I don't really quite understand the process. It sounds like someone agreed to it at some point. But a lot of this is new to some of us, me included. So like, we're all talking about the parking issues. There's parking problems. We have a study in place to try to figure out what we can do to address some of the parking problems. But here we're providing 14 parking spaces. If this agreement was made years ago, we don't know, are the parking spaces needed? Where are they going to be? Are they going to be limited to handicap spaces only? Are they going to be limited to drop-off pickup? And is this something the town could absorb? There's also a pending permit application for development on Ron Russo's lot. We're not clear what kind of parking implications that might have. So that's kind of what jumped out at me when I read through.
Okay,
Thanks.
yep, got it.
So,
And I agree we should table it.
right, so you don't need motions for a table, right?
No.
Yeah, it's tabled and it's.
Yep. But if we could get that,
I'm looking to
Be a
you
parent.
for the appropriate legal answer. To have it clean cut.
I would prefer that there be a record of it and
Okay.
that you actually formally
Okay.
move to
Right.
table this to your next meeting or to another date certain or to a date left open to be determined.
Okay.
all right, I'd like to make a motion that we table this agreement between the Twin Beach Library and the town of North Beach until our next meeting or further date. That's
Second.
sufficient, Karen? Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
And in the
carries.
meantime, Len, if you could do some research to find whatever was agreed to or discussed, so that when we do come back together, we can go over this, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Next up, we have the award contract for the construction and rebuild of the Calvert County Lady of Charities Pantry Building, where they have a lovely model up here.
Right.
And that's you as well, Linda, yes.
Okay. So first, before I jump into this memo, I just wanted to thank the Ladies of Charity. We went through a pretty arduous process to get where we are tonight, and I appreciate their being patient with my many, many questions that I had for them. But we are here this evening to ask for your approval for a construction contract with William and Davis. They emerged as the most suitable candidate to meet the objectives. There was an evaluation committee that was put together. We went through a very lengthy discussion about whether or not this contractor met the terms and conditions we were looking for. They did. I believe it was a unanimous vote, and we are bringing forward them for approval this evening. I do have a table with a memo that outlines the funding sources, and just so for public consumption, the total bid recommendation is $1,162,660, so $1,162,660. $700,000 of that is covered by DHCD. There's a $200,000 state bond bill that was sponsored by Senator Jackson, and then the Ladies of Charity are going to be covering $262,660 of the remaining expenses. The town of North Beach is the grant recipient. We are holding the grant on their behalf, but they are responsible for making sure the project gets done. So I think we're in a good spot. All the money seems to be in place and ready to go. So with that, we are recommending that you award the contract to William and Davis.
Entertain a motion to award the contract. Or are there any questions?
The model does not go along with the construction price. That was free, right? Right, priceless, yeah.
Make a motion to award the contract to WM Davis for the construction of the Ladies of Charity Food Pantry.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, all opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So when will they break ground?
Soon. I think the goal is by November 1st, if I remember correctly. Fingers crossed. Okay.
All right, next up is we have mayor and council reports. Ken, I'm going to start with you online because it makes it easy so we
Okay.
don't forget about you.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, all right, there we go. Well, welcome. Hello from Leonardtown, down here because it's soccer night and watching the girls play. And all I can say for this year, it's a rebuilding year of how they're doing. Otherwise, thank you everybody for coming out. I wish I was there in person, but you will see me next month in person. And that is all.
Thank you, Ken. Greg?
Thank you to everyone coming out, and congratulations to the beach staff for the great work on helping those young people out there in the water. Just wanted to highlight, and I don't think you mentioned it during your report there, but I'm going to say tomorrow we're going to be participation in the Maryland Remembrance event. So that'll be here at the town hall. I'm not sure if y'all decided where it's going to be at, inside, outside. Okay. Okay. And this marks the 46th National POWMI Recognition Day. So if you get a chance, just come by and check out the display. Other than that, thank you all. Continue to be safe. And
Good evening, everyone. So quick update on where we are with the camera RFP. So just to recap on that, we put out an RFP for a new camera system for this building and really throughout the town. The RFP went out back in the beginning of this year, the first quarter. We ended up getting 3 bidders that came in as part of that. The bids range from, I think, 100-ish thousand up to 250,000 on it. So it was actually quite a wide range there. So we've been evaluating that, and then in parallel to that, Linda and town staff were able to actually track down the fact that the county has a existing contract with yet a 4th vendor that we may be able to actually piggyback on. So we're currently looking at that. It seems like that is probably going to be the most promising solution here, but we're still kind of evaluating that. And we're going to be meeting with that vendor here, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, so we can get this thing wrapped up. The goal is still to use the ARPA funds that we have available to cover this, which we have to get obligated by the end of the calendar year, I believe. So we are trying to get this closed up here, wrapped up, so we can get it moving. But I think we'll have resolution to this and be bringing this to the council in the near future. Thank you.
Tons going on with the flood committee, but it's all in Donnie's report. What's going on, Donnie? Flood pumps.
9th Street Pump Station, we got a confirmation that the base is finally shipped yesterday, and they're in the air. They're from Belgium, coming here, and hopefully be here by first part of the week, and then they can get started back on 9th Street and finish that thing up. We did do some preliminary stuff at 7th Street for the fill valve to prevent the bay from coming back in there. At 7th Street, contractor met on site. We're meeting again. He had to order a 36-inch plug to be able to plug that line so we can verify the size to order the right track valve. We're almost positive it's 36 inch, but that's a $30,000 item, so we don't.
Make sure, measured twice.
And a 10-week lead time. They do have a 36 in stock, so we're trying to get that verified and ordered. And then we're doing a side-by-side comparison we've been talking about a little while for the area where the boardwalk railing gets wiped out from Hatches Corner to 7th Street, finger pier from where the existing resentment is on the beach to 7th Street. When we get a nor'easter like we did with the hurricane, that area really gets a lot of damage. You get waves hitting the boardwalk, bouncing up to the houses there. So we have 2 proposals to solution for that area. Lauren helped me diligently, and we did a side-by-side. we did the first one, but it wasn't true apples to apples, so we reached back out to one of the vendors and we asked if they could give us a more comprehensive study. They did, and that more matched what we had from Calvert Soil Conservation, so we did it side by side. We have maybe 5 or 6 questions for each vendor. We're gonna get them to the vendor Monday, Tuesday next week, get those answers back, and we'd like to present that to the council. If we have a work session in October, I'd like to be able to, we're gonna, I was gonna ask Linda, go through, and then we're gonna try to get that on the work session. So we can hopefully get the design out for our, or get the design, award the design, I'm sorry.
Yep, so lots going on to harden the shore from Hatch's Corner to the end of 11th, and along with pumps to get the water out quicker when it comes in, which we hope it doesn't come in September, October. Our high tide months. Yeah, so that's good. Other than that, I have been working probably for the last year with a consultant, actually with Bayland, and also with input from Donnie and Phil on a proposal to improve access to the bay for those of you who like to sail or paddle small boats or boards. And so that proposal is pretty close to being done, and we hope that we're gonna be able to present it to council and residents next month. So that's a pretty exciting thing. We're basically talking about making it easier to launch these small boats from the beach, making it easier to store them, the boats and the gear. And we're talking about non-motorized, by the way, small boats, canoes, kayaks, paddle boards, sunfishes, things like that. But we want to make it a little easier for folks who are into boating to get their boat into the water. That's the goal. Other than that, that's it for me. Just enjoy this amazing September weather.
Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming tonight. I really don't have any comments tonight other than, Linda has been here a few months now, doing a great job. Staff is all working well together. They seem to be enjoying the change. So just want to say good job.
I second that. Thank you.
Thank everybody for coming out and meeting the new faces. Other than that, I have the last movie of the summer this weekend on Saturday. It's Migration, one of the more recently animated movies. Hope to see everybody there. And with that, I need to have a motion to entertain going into closed session. Under the Maryland Code Annotated General Provisions, Article 3-305B, Number 7, to consult with counsel to obtain legal advice.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes, and I now close the meeting. Thank you.